This is the Halloween special hosted by Mudra Man and
I'm Slippy
from
Star Fox.
I love this like DIY costume vibe. I'm so inspired by it.
Yeah,
we can tell you're inspired by it.
Casey got this really cute frog hat, and then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be for the Halloween episode, and she kept saying, "Just be a frog. Just be a frog." She wanted me to dress in all green and wear this hat and just be a frog. And I was like, I'm not gonna just be a frog.
Yeah.
And then
it's been done before.
What's that guy that does the call-in show dressed as a gecko?
Oh, yeah. See, I was thinking about that. Lyle?
Yeah,
is it Lyle? Yeah. I actually love his show, by the way.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But anyway, she just kept, you got to be a frog. And so I was like, what? Do I know any cool frogs? And then I thought about Slippy. I like Star Fox, so yeah, I'm Slippy.
I just wanted to give the world a hero that they've never seen, but one that's needed desperately in these times. The protector of peace and the dispeller of negativity.
Wait, put your hands in closer.
Put them in closer?
Yeah, they're out of frame. All right, yeah, perfect.
Dude, this is a superhero that I can get behind.
Yeah, my power is weaving mudras and promoting positivity, meditation, and enlightenment.
So in reality, it's just you.
I mean... one could say that.
Yeah.
One could say that.
It's just, you do all that stuff.
Yeah.
You do mudras. You weave mudras, as you said. You
say lyrical mudras.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
You send mudras out over the airwaves.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Hit them with a little bit of the om.
This is your rapper, alter ego right now.
My rapper alter ego is Merlin.
That's right.
Remember?
That's right. Yeah. Merlin.
Yeah, I like that. So,
you're just gonna skip right over my costume.
Well, your costume.
What is your costume?
I
don't say it.
am an angel.
Oh my!
Wow!
God.
Wow! You're just.
I'm
you, man.
What was that? So you're an angel, huh, Alex?
That was good.
Yeah, I'm all white.
How fucking original, dude.
That's amazing. What about the black pants?
I'm not wearing pants.
Wow.
All right, let's get right past that. We got too many ladies getting excited over here in the Alex doing the episode with no pants on. We got to gloss right over that.
So I wanted to get into the origins of Halloween, but I must admit, I was very traumatized by the Valentine's episode.
You were traumatized?
Yeah, because dude, you're like, what?
You can see the whole studio in your glasses right now. You can see my desk.
Yo, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's part of your superpower.
I'm a reflection of you.
Mudra Man.
Mudra Man.
I am a reflection of you.
That's the crown chakra chant.
You said that like the sensei from Napoleon Dynamite. Your sensei.
Rex Kwon Do.
Yeah.
I love Rex Kwon Do.
You said, that's a crown chakra chant. Anyway.
What did you say? Break the wrist, walk away.
Yeah, break the wrist, snap the wrist, walk away. Snap the wrist, walk away.
I love that with the, he has a do-rag. Dude, it's the American flag, remember?
Yes. No, it's American flag pants.
Yeah, right, pants.
On.
Yeah, but he does have a do-rag.
For all I know, he's wearing a Superman do-rag.
I do need to show this. So Mudra Man is very intentional, and he's not afraid of showing his influence from other great heroes and ascended masters before him. So, you might see the Superman logo on the do-rag.
That says Puerto Vallarta. Where you pointed?
Can you see it now?
Yeah, there you go.
You hit him with the beam of enlightenment. Yeah, but there's more. Because when I turn and walk away and my mission is complete, they're always reminded by the symbol.
Yo, yeah, move the camera. Yo. If that's not a beacon of justice, I don't know. Oh, man, and he's throwing up the mudras.
It's a beach towel.
Oh, it is? For real?
Yeah.
Don't tell people that.
Dude, I mean...
Oh, hey, hold on. Also, for anybody out... This is so niche, but for anybody out there who grew up, super Christian, there was a character named Bible Man There was a superhero. Alex, do you know about Bible Man?
I know
You
about
don't?
Bible Man.
You don't?
No, I was
Okay.
Catholic, man. It's
Oh
just
yeah, that's
boring.
right. Yeah, you had like Pope Man or whatever. So you had
Staff man.
you had Mass Man.
Mass Man. I like
Mass
that.
Man, yeah. But anyway, there was a character named Bible Man, and he was like Christian Batman, and he was like all purple and yellow and super jacked.
He had a lightsaber too.
That's right.
He had a lightsaber.
He was just like,
So they just took shit from everywhere.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and he would just beat the shit out of people and then like quote Bible verses. At them.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, so it's like Pulp Fiction.
oh yeah, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction. But anyway, Ryan is the new age version of Bible Man.
I'm Mudra Man.
Mudra Man. Mudra Man is
I've even got the Tibetan beads that Alex bought me, the prayer beads.
dude. This is sick.
Really ties it together.
This is possibly my.
Amen.
What was that?
Amen.
This is possibly my favorite, like alter ego of yours that's ever spawned from your mind.
There's more where that came from. So I was really traumatized by the Valentine's episode
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
did all this research and then we blew through the notes in like 10 minutes.
Oh, that part. Okay.
So we're going to paste this one out.
Okay.
But I also have about 8 times more notes this time.
So it should go like 8 times as long then.
So about, 16 minutes.
Okay.
I was waiting for that, actually.
Yeah, but no, I want to get into it because the roots of Halloween are very cool. And actually, I did not know it as well as I thought I did. I'm definitely going to have to read a lot of this because it's...
Before we get into the nitty gritty, real quick, we got to have some fun on this episode. What's your favorite costume you've ever worn for Halloween?
Mudra Man.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's my favorite.
That's honestly fair enough, bro. Alex, what's your favorite?
Bro, that's a tough one.
Have you? Do you even do that? I feel like you're the kind of guys that I don't dress up. I mean, clearly,
well, I'm
look
thinking back to
at you today.
I'm thinking.
He didn't know.
That's a low blow.
He didn't know we were doing the Halloween episode, which is worse.
Yeah.
We've been texting about it for a week.
No, dude. Okay.
We had a meeting and everything.
I'm gonna defend myself.
we're gonna have this out on the show right now.
It's okay. You work today. It's fine.
Bow to your sensei.
I know. No, so I saw you guys discussing whether it was gonna be this weekend or the next time we meet, and I'm just like, I'm at work and I'm just reading it and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like someone will hit me in the face and be like, "Yo, it's Halloween episode." But I really
guess
wanted
what?
to do
You
this
thought
whole-
wrong. We didn't do that.
Yeah,
We can't read your mind and know that you didn't read it.
Now
I know.
you're,
It's my fault. I'm
now
not
you're
saying
sitting here dressed as Alex the Angel.
Yeah,
Alex the Angel, I love
and
it.
I look good.
Yeah, you're right. I
You
mean,
do
you
look
don't
good.
really need to dress up. You're scary enough.
You look
Anyway,
really
what's
good.
your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever?
Dude, he looks
worn?
really good.
I know. It does. You want to say it again? Say it one more time.
Super, super good.
Okay.
Wait, Superman good?
Shut up, dude. What's your favorite freaking Halloween costume, you turd?
The first one that comes to my mind was I was a SWAT guy one year,
that dude.
and
That's the most Alex answer.
dude, I was obsessed with
Yeah, we
with
know.
fire, EMS, and like police, like
Is this
public
when-
servant stuff. I was all in. Like,
Is this
my
when
whole
you're
childhood.
little or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was probably
cool.
like 8.
Nice. When
yeah,
you
I
dressed
didn't,
up
I
as
didn't dress up as a SWAT person at like 20.
Hey, listen. That's fully what I expected. I'm not gonna lie. I expected like, yeah, dude. When I was like, on my 21st, like when I was 21, I went out as a SWAT guy on Halloween. It was sick.
I can't
And then I
think of-
surfed the next day, and it was fucking sweet.
I haven't had many adult Halloween costumes. One year I was a ninja with a cape. That was pretty cool.
A ninja with a cape.
Uh-huh.
That sounds pretty.
And I had like a huge like halberd weapon that was actually like a martial arts training weapon.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It was cool.
I think my favorite is one year I went as Star-Lord.
I think I remember that.
That was cool.
I remember that.
Yeah. I literally went to Goodwill and found a red, like, leather jacket kind of. No. It was a red trench coat. A red leather trench coat, and I cut it into a jacket.
That's cool. Didn't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a tape recorder or something like that?
I did. I had a little, it was a Walkman.
Mhm.
I had a Walkman, headphones, and then I actually, they sold like a Nerf, like Star-Lord, his gun,
Mhm.
and I bought it and spray painted it black.
That's cool.
Because it was like yellow and orange.
Right,
like
because of
gun.
Nerf.
Yeah. So I spray painted. It was cool. It was a fun one.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I just wanted to. Really, honestly, I was hoping to get an embarrassing answer out of Alex.
One time I dressed up as Thing 1.
No, you.
Wow.
did
Who was Thing 2?
not.
It did nobody.
That's amazing. You 8-year twin.
No, so I had hair about as long as I do now, and my mom is a hairdresser, and she went and got blue dye,
No.
and she spiked my hair up. It was about to here, and dyed it all blue. So I didn't wear a wig or anything. I had pure blue hair.
Dang.
Yeah,
dude.
and then ran around in like a red onesie.
That's
with a
kind of
Thing
awesome.
1.
How old were you? 21.
This is first
This was
grade,
last
first
week.
grade. First grade.
That's honestly mad cute.
Yeah.
That's,
All right. Well,
there's
now that we're on the subject of fun, I have a question.
Were we ever off the subject of
Yeah.
fun?
Well, I was just going to get right into it, but I kind of like this better because it avoids the problem of running out of notes.
There you go.
What's our favorite like Halloween movie to watch around this time?
Oh,
It doesn't have to
bro.
be a scary movie.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The audience might know I talk about it all the time. I don't like scary movies, but every year during October, that's when I get it all out of my system.
Mhm.
I'm like,
It's the time.
it is, man. It feels like appropriate. Like, it's starting to get a little bit cold. All the leaves are starting to die. The trees are changing colors. It just feels like, okay, I need to watch Michael Myers like stab a chick.
OG Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I watched that movie every single year in October.
Do you know what I think you should watch this year during Halloween season?
What?
Have you ever seen the original Children of the Corn?
Nope.
Watch it.
Okay, bet.
It's not scary.
No, yeah.
It's just like a Stephen King movie. Like,
Some of my favorites, though, love Evil Dead so much.
that's scary.
I mean, it's that.
You've just seen it enough times. That's all it is.
Maybe, I don't
That's
know.
a scary movie.
Older like horror movies do not scare me in the slightest. It's only when like we started getting into the like 2000s and then it was all
Mhm.
just like cheesy jump scares.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's not. I just can't do it. I don't like it. Like makes me feel like I'm having a heart attack. But I mean, I love like The Shining. I watch that every year. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, you got to watch Children of the Corn.
Bet I'll do it.
I'm pretty sure that's Stephen King. Is it? I could be totally wrong on that.
I think probably.
I'm not sure.
All right. So
anymore.
what about you? What's like your?
Dang, I don't know. I mean, like
I named a lot.
OG Halloween is always like the best contender, but there's a couple movies that I really like watching around Halloween time, and they are so strange. Like, have y'all ever heard of Pumpkinhead?
I don't think
It's
no.
Pumpkinhead.
No. I
It's a good movie.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It's not a good movie, but it's a great movie. You know,
Okay, it's one of those.
when you get
yeah.
into the realm of horror, it's okay if it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Because-
yeah.
It's it's like part of it.
Mhm.
But Pumpkinhead, that's a good one.
I mean, I always love Friday the 13th. That those movies are dope. Nightmare
one?
on Elm Street. I'm very much like I just like the original ones. I
Like
don't.
the first one,
Yes.
whereas the mom.
Yeah. I don't
Plot
even.
twist.
I don't even like. I don't even know if I've seen a lot of the sequels. I remember I saw H2O, the Halloween one, which was
That's Halloween, yeah.
really bad.
I never saw it.
It was really, really bad. I don't think I saw any of the Jason Voorhees sequels. I think maybe I watched Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Maybe. But I don't.
Second one's weird.
I just really like the original ones, and I'll watch those. Like, except for Evil Dead. Like, I'll watch all the Evil Deads. Like, I love those. They're sick. What about you, Alex? What's some of your faves?
Don't do this to me.
Oh, yeah, you don't watch anything.
I
That's
don't.
Right. You don't,
And
do that.
to be honest with you, like, I know what those movies are,
You never seen any
You know
of them?
Pumpkinhead?
and I've no,
You
but-
never.
and I've seen them, but like, I don't watch them at Halloween. Like, I'm not a big Halloween person at all.
Really?
No, I'm more like, let's just get through Halloween and get to Thanksgiving.
Wow.
I mean, that's the truth.
Dude, ever since I was a kid, like Halloween has like pretty much always been my favorite. I mean, I always loved Christmas. It was
Yeah.
super fun, but I mean, when you're a kid, candy is everything.
Dude, it's beyond the candy, though. It's the atmosphere is everywhere around you.
That's true. It feels
know?
like you're in a fantasy world
Yeah,
Where
everywhere.
you get to go up to strangers' doors.
and demand that
Well,
they
dude,
give you
not even
fistfuls of
that.
candy.
Not even just that. But like, you go to businesses during the month of October, and it's all decorated. Like everywhere you go, it's all around you.
Mhm.
Everybody is celebrating in some way.
Bro, that's been so. I'm like, working with my brother now, cutting yards. I see like dozens every day of yards that are fully decorated and houses, crazy stuff. I mean, some of it's like real creepy.
Nick,
Yeah.
So you don't know this. So my new boss, his family, he's got 2 daughters and his wife. All they do is Halloween.
Bro, what do you mean?
In the neighborhood, she is queen of Halloween.
Really?
And so the last couple days at work, I've had to power wash their driveway to get ready for this tent, this huge wedding tent that they do what's it called?
Like a walkthrough, like a haunted house thing?
Yeah, a haunted house thing, and then you go up on the porch, and then and so I've got to go over there on Halloween to get painted like a zombie to scare little kids.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, of course.
I might do it.
Yo!
His boss was like, "Bring everybody you know. I need zombies."
Oh,
Yeah.
I might do it if we're free. I'm gonna talk
gotta
to Jenny
do
about
it.
it. I might. I want to.
That would be so much fun.
No, so he's got in his yard right now, not even Halloween, just the prep. There's like 6 different 15, 20 foot tall werewolf, skeleton, witch,
dude.
like headless horseman, and they all like talk and move and stuff.
That's crazy.
Hey,
It's wild.
a little teaser. Part of the reason that the myth of like werewolves and vampires and things like that even exists today is tied to the origins of Halloween.
Okay, I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm ready. Let's go.
I got 2 Actually, I got a few recommendations for the viewers. I want to stress that we are talking just like Halloween classics. I'm not sitting here recommending like A-list, top-notch horror films or anything of that nature. I'm just saying great movies to watch around Halloween time. Okay, first of all, it's not a movie. Nick is going to obsessively agree with this one. Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to watch Over the Garden Wall.
It's a 10-episode
11 minutes apiece.
cartoon miniseries. It is very mysterious and mystical, and it's
It's Elijah Wood.
Yeah, the fall vibes and like the Halloween vibes are just so potent. It's amazing. What else? What are you gonna
There is a cult classic Halloween anthology. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Trick or Treat. It's not a very particularly scary movie. It's more like a intentionally B-list campy horror film.
Okay, cool.
And it's about like it's just about like the spirit of Halloween. And like
Cool.
So you would see it written as Samhain. That's the original Gaelic holiday that we're going to talk about a lot. It's written like Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. The being is named that, and that's the name of the entity that's like killing people or whatever. It's just a cool little movie. He's got a pumpkin head, not to be confused with Pumpkinhead,
Right.
the movie, which is about a witch that manifests a demon from a pumpkin patch. It's this weird demonic entity with a head that looks like a pumpkin. It's called Pumpkinhead. It's a great movie. Highly recommend Pumpkinhead. Okay?
So, in your research, what's the deal with pumpkins? Like, other than the fact that they
I didn't
it's seasonal.
see anything really about. I think it's just about the harvest. I mean, we're gonna get into that.
Okay.
But dude, like what you were saying, it's your like favorite time of the year. I think October is definitely my favorite month. Like that's why me and Jenny chose to get married in October. It's an awesome month, dude. Like I wanted to be married by pumpkins. It's cool. So let's get into it. Let's get into the Halloween stuff because I actually do have a lot more notes this time.
Let's go.
Like a lot. A lot. Just the entire history, and there's probably so much more that I didn't fathom or didn't come across. So I always thought that Halloween was a Celtic or Druidic holiday, but actually it's far older than that, and it's believed by some archaeological evidence today that this tradition has existed for at least 5,000 years in pre-Celtic Gaelic Ireland, which is crazy. And they have all these mounds and burial sites where they have all these bodies dug up in mass graves, and we're going to get into the why. So it's the festival of Samhain on October 31st. Again, it's spelled like Samhain. It symbolizes the descent of the sun. So, you have the fall equinox.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, September 22nd or 1st or, depending on the year. And then between September, whenever the equinox is, and between the winter solstice, I didn't actually look at the calendar and like verify this for myself. It's just something I kept coming across and reading, and I was like, sounds right to me. So between the fall equinox and between the winter solstice, supposedly October 31st is the day that is equidistant between those days, where it goes from the equinox to, then you have on October 31st, the sun begins this like rapid descent beneath the horizon and the days begin to rapidly get darker. And I guess that makes sense because doesn't time, what is it, spring, it jumps back in November, right? Like right after Halloween?
Yeah, fall back.
Yeah, right after Halloween.
Yep.
So October 31st is the day where we're equidistant between the equinox and the solstice. So
Gotcha.
the ancients in ancient Gaelic Ireland, which, you know, there's not even a lot known about Gaelic culture today. Like it's very mysterious. It's very similar to like the mysticism of Egypt, as well as the Druids too. But
a lot of them were wiped out, and like their records are just like
pretty much. Yeah. But so it's the idea of this festival that was celebrated was, most of it was about the descent of the sun. The days are getting darker, and it's also it's signifying the darkness over the next 6 months of the year too, because in these ancient societies they had these belief systems about how like the sun rules, its rain is in the sky for 6 months, and then the darkness rules for 6 months. And they believed because, you know, the crops are beginning to die, the cold, the dark is coming, the harvest is complete, farm season is over, it's survival for the next 6 months until spring, you know? So Gaelic goddess of the harvest. Now listen, I may be 99% English and Irish, but that does not mean that I know how to pronounce this shit.
Okay.
You know, I just have to throw that out there.
Okay.
This, I'm telling you, the way they pronounce this stuff, and then when you see it written, it is so different.
I've seen like Irish, like
it's
Gaelic stuff.
Very hard to
like
pronounce.
Saoirse and like weird.
The way it's spelled is so. I just want to clarify. I'm not going to be pronouncing this stuff right. I'm just going to say it like it's written. So the Gaelic goddess of the harvest, Tailtiu, Tailtiu, dies of exhaustion from teaching people how to harvest. So leading up to the Samhain day, where the sun is equidistant between the equinox and the solstice, the myth in Gaelic Ireland is that the goddess of the harvest dies from exhaustion from all this farm going on for 6 months.
Wow.
And then Lugh, the god of the sun, let's see what's going on with the god of the sun. He mourns her death. He establishes a harvest festival in her honor. His wife, Ariu, is the queen of the forest who rules the summer with him for the 6 months while the sun reigns in the sky through the spring and the summer.
Whoa.
Okay. Alatha, the dark Fomorian prince, which the Fomorians in Irish mythology were like this dark race of demonic gods that were always at war with the Tuatha Dé Danann, which were like the Irish gods. So the dark prince, Alatha, kills him. He drives the spear through the sun while he's in his vulnerable state. So the vulnerable state of Lugh, the sun god, is when he is exiting from a bath with one foot on a cauldron and the other foot on a ram. The cauldron and the ram are symbolic of the summer and the winter solstice. You have Capricorn and the ram, Capricorn,
Whoa.
and then you have Cancer, the cauldron. I don't know why the cauldron represents, but the sun is in Cancer during the summer solstice and then Capricorn during the winter solstice. So having one foot on each symbolizes the sun's temporal position, meaning time, the temporal position between these astrological houses during the fall equinox and the winter solstice. Okay, the sun god is slain, the nights begin to grow longer, so the ancients are having this whole mythology about, okay, Halloween is when the darkness comes into reign.
Darkness falls and magic stirs.
The dark prince, the prince, the dark prince Alatha elopes with Lugh's wife Ariu, symbolizing the reign of darkness for the next 6 months. And then this is actually a Smite character. You might recognize this. Lugh's son Cuchulainn.
Oh,
remember him?
Cuchulainn,
yeah, we played him. Lugh's son Cuchulainn. He's later born in the winter through an immaculate conception. It can be interpreted that he is also the human incarnation of Lugh, just like who? Jesus, but this is way before. We're seeing all these Christ principles of the Son and the Son of the Son, but also
it's in like every culture,
because it's the truth. It's the truth that we come from the divine, and there is a being or some sort of force that is born here. That it's just the story of achieving mastery.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah,
but he's reborn, and it symbolizes the rebirth of the sun and the days growing longer. So eventually, Lugh is reborn as Cuchulainn, which is the same as Osiris being reborn as Horus, or you got God and Jesus, or you got Nimrod, and I'm not maybe.
Don't call. There's no reason to call Alex names right now. He didn't do anything.
We already covered Nimrod. Do you remember what that is?
Yeah, I know.
It's the Babylonian version.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the
Tammuz and Nimrod?
Oh, Tammuz is the.
That's the Christmas tree. Remember? We did it on the Christmas episode.
Right,
Tammuz and Nimrod.
Right.
And another virgin birth. It's in every myth ever.
Tammuz
Yeah, I think so.
is the human incarnation, or like the sun.
I'm not sure if it's the other way
Okay.
around. I can't remember. We did it a year ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then okay. During this time, the Gaelic Irish people were fascinated with the astrology, the stars. I mean, just like all the other wisdom traditions,
Yeah.
They're looking at the stars. They're contemplating the mysteries of life and death because all the crops dying, and then they have to survive.
That's
through
how
the
it
cold.
starts, man.
Yeah.
For all these religions and cultures and.
Well, that's what you did when you didn't have TV.
Right.
I mean, seriously,
for real.
I'm not
Right,
even
yeah.
being funny. Yeah.
Well,
No,
dude-
yeah, you don't have distractions, and you can ponder big ideas like that.
Well, also like
And try
life
to
back
figure it
then,
out.
for the most part, I feel like life was about survival. Like even when we were born in the '90s, there's all this technology everywhere. Society for the last 100+ barely years has had this constant vision of the future and technology and these advancements. But I feel like aeons ago, 5,000 years ago, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about like life and death. They're
Where's
looking
my
up.
next meal?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
the way they think is different from the way we think now. They're really thinking about this stuff like it's so real and it's so important, and they're looking at the sky every night, and they believe that it's more than just stars. They think it's gods and beings and fairies, and fairies come from Ireland. We're going to
Right.
get into that.
And we got further into the future and further away from the truth that it really is beings up there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you think about it. Once your belly's full and all your chores are done and all that stuff, what else is there to do? You're gonna sit around and be like, okay, but what does all this mean? Like, what is all this
Yeah.
about? Especially you're looking up in the sky and their skies.
There's no light pollution
None.
anywhere.
It's like a freaking Renaissance painting or so. They're like completely. Your mind goes crazy. You're trying to learn what all this stuff means.
But
You
also
ever
when they
catch
look,
yourself like driving, and you're like, "Whoa, this is like real life." like what the heck am I doing?
How'd
here?
I get here?
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, you get those existential
Oh,
moments.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like especially within like circles like we are in, where we think about ourselves very often as a soul rather than a person. It's sometimes you snap back into the person,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, I forgot for a little bit. It's kind of weird. What's wild to me is think about people that don't think like that.
Yeah.
Like
Are you talking the NPCs?
right?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
playing,
yeah,
I'm playing.
for lack of a better term, yeah, like more.
I don't know.
I don't mean this in a rude way, but like more simple-minded folk.
It is a thing. It
I-
is.
With that subject, I think is it what you're saying? Is it simple, or is it so far distracted?
Yeah, I mean, it can
Like,
be both.
is
Right.
it
Both can be true.
society?
No, yeah, no,
Both can be true.
yeah, that's a good point though.
They
Actually,
kind of go in tandem.
no, it's crazy to ponder.
So they're thinking about the transience of life and death and the passage between worlds. Okay, they believed that on the day of what we now call Halloween or Samhain, that the veil between worlds was at its thinnest.
Right.
Yes, and that spirits passed freely back and forth between realms.
Yeah.
And they believed, I had something, the veil between the spirit world and the physical world is thinner. Okay. Oh, here it is. The Tuatha De Danann, which were the Irish Gaelic gods,
Mhm.
it's also believed that they, every year in the mythology, they waged their final war against the Fomorians, the dark demonic gods, and they win,
Oh.
and that victory was achieved. So it's like there's also like these conflicting themes of like it depends how far back in the ancient past you go. Like over time during the medieval ages, Halloween or this tradition got scarier and darker and more about witchcraft and black magic and sorcery because there was paranoia and panic about religious themes in medieval Europe. because of the rise of Catholicism and you know the Inquisitions and conquesting all these countries, and they're pagans, you know, and there was this kind of like spiritual paranoia that came up to the medieval times. But in the far ancient past, it was more like
Like a celebration?
like El Dia de los Muertos
Right.
in Mexico.
Yes.
It's
like a
was
celebration.
Yeah, like they had these ancient burial mounds in Ireland, very tall hills, and the archaeologists have found there's like hundreds or thousands of graves around these mounds. And the Irish believed that the mounds or the hills were so special because it's where the gods and the fairies lived. So on this day, they would return to these mounds. If there was, you know, dead or dying, they would bury them there. And they believed that they could burn offerings to assist the spirits of the dead to cross through the veil and help them like cross through to the other side on this day.
Wow. That is very...
Or that they would return
Yeah.
to visit.
That is very similar to the Day of the
Dia de
Dead.
los Muertos, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
So it's believed that the laws of nature and the laws of nature were suspended during this time, and that supernatural feats were possible. The Celts, the Druids, the Gaelics, eventually the Celtics, which is Scotland, you know, they caught on to this tradition. They believed that the passage between worlds was possible. They believed that the gods had won the war. I know I already said that. I'm just catching up to my notes. The evil Fomorians, they beat them in this final battle. They achieved victory. They're purging the demonic gods from Ireland on this day. They believed that the veil between the physical and the spiritual worlds, I say they believed, I'm just reading what I wrote, but what I really mean is archaeologists, you know, historians, they find that this veil symbology that keeps, you know, occurring through cultures comes through the bridal veil of Isis, the wife of Osiris.
Right.
She's depicted as the veiled one. You know that, Helena Blavatsky?
Yeah.
One of her books is called Isis Unveiled.
Oh, right.
She's
you have
just
a copy of that, don't
right.
you?
Yeah, she's just symbolized as this bridal veil. She's the bride of the sun god, and you have similar themes in Gaelic. There's an idea that maybe there was some sort of transmission of culture somehow between Egypt and Ireland. Definitely with the Druids. It's like not sure if it's proven, but there's so many similarities between their spiritual systems, you know, and the way they believe things. So the veil between the physical and the spiritual worlds comes from the Egyptian goddess Isis, the bride of the solar god Osiris. It's believed that the mysteries of creation and the mysteries of the universe lie beyond the veil between the worlds. So the ancients were always contemplating this veil, trying to penetrate its mysteries. So this day was so special because they believed it's the day that anybody could penetrate the veil.
Right, because everything's so thin.
Yeah,
right.
Because of the position of the sun on the solstices and the equinoxes. It's like that halfway point between the crossing of the sun. So they just thought, the veil has to be thinner.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always
there's got to be something to it.
I was going to mention, I feel like ever since I was a little kid, something about Halloween feels different. Kind of similar to Christmas, how there's this very specific feeling. It's almost like the air is different.
It's the same tradition. You stay up all night, you leave candy corn out, and then the great pumpkin comes down the chimney and leaves you tricks and treats.
What?
That doesn't happen in your house when growing up?
No, but it's like...
You lost your hat.
No! You made me laugh so hard I lost my hat.
I can't believe... Y'all don't know about that?
I really, for a good second there, I was like, is he being for real right now?
The Great Pumpkin. Pumpkinhead, man.
Right, Pumpkinhead.
I love that movie. It's like an 80s...
You mentioned that.
Yeah, it's good, dude.
You mentioned
I saw that when I was 12, and I was
Wait a minute. Charlie Brown and the Great
Pumpkin, yeah.
That's my movie.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Clock it in.
That's a really good one. Shout out my cousin Lee, who has been on the show.
Yeah.
Lee Smith. That was one of his favorite. We used to watch that together.
That's awesome.
He loved the Great Pumpkin.
Honestly, that's another one that you gotta watch every year.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that.
It's a good one.
It is. It's such a cozy vibe.
So,
okay.
Ryan, back
Yes,
to
sir.
what you're saying. Do you think that the veil is actually thinner, or do you think that it's one of those egregorical, everybody thinks the veil is thinner, so it actually is kind of thing?
No, it's I don't know that. How could I know, right?
Right.
I don't know that the veil is thinner on Halloween than any other day. I just believe that if there is such a veil, which there is, if there is such a veil, I believe that it's always being affected by these astrological like today's an eclipse. Got to be something going on with that. There's a reason that the Aztecs were sacrificing thousands of people a day under solar eclipses.
Right.
There's a reason for this. We in modern times may not know. Secret societies and a lot of these mystery schools know, but there's a reason they did this, and they observed the celestial bodies, the eclipses, and I think there's something to it. And I know that people at NASA, I know this because of some of our contacts through, knowing government officials and being persons of interest of the Department of Defense, all that stuff. I know that when they do certain rocket launches, they observe solstices and equinoxes and do weird rituals.
Right.
Facing cardinal directions when they launch rockets, like something that they do in private.
Which is wild. I mean.
Yeah. There's something to it. I don't know.
I get the hunch, though, that it's for real.
My intuition tells me if there's a day where the veil is thinnest, it has to be Easter because of the mythology behind that. And also, like, the majority of Dad's major experiences with the lady happen on Easter. So my mind is just like there's something special about all of these holidays, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
There's a reason that there's also, you notice that the major holidays we celebrate are at the different seasons.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, the equinoxes.
It's what they came
the
from.
astrological alignments.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I think it's possible that like all of those major holidays that are around like alignments and stuff like that, it could like the veil could be thin on all of them,
Yeah.
and like maybe in some cultures they thought that it was thinner at certain times than others, but I feel like that's probably exactly why they do these rituals on these holidays and these. I mean, that's why these holidays exist in the first place, because they fall in these alignments. I think it's all got to do with the veil being thin.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see why they think that about this holiday, though, because we're talking several thousand years ago. They're all, for all of time back then, they're watching everything die every year. Like, there's got to be some meaning to, the mystery of life. All the crops die at the same time together. I don't know.
Right.
But there's definitely something to that. So, the Celtic goddess of winter, Cailleach, that's a very hard one to... Cailleach.
I think that's perfect.
Is a parallel to Isis. Her name actually means, or is translated to mean the veiled one.
Wow.
So she saves Lugh, the sun god, the
Right.
god, the god of the sun. Who? What does she do? She also saved Osiris.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She saves Lugh as an infant and rules in partnership with Brigid, the goddess of the spring, assuming her role in Samhain, which is the holiday. It was the original name of holiday.
Yeah.
In Samhain until Beltane, which is the holiday of May. Like the May Queen and the bonfires of May.
Gotcha.
That's not something we celebrate in America,
Right.
but over in Europe, that's like a big holiday is in May. These two deities are interpreted by historians and scholars to be like two aspects of the same deity, but like one of them rules in the spring and the summer, one of them rules goddess of winter and the night and the darkness, but it's like the same entity.
Gotcha.
Rising and setting with the seasons. Samhain is the equal point between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. I didn't count the days. You know what I mean? The 4 solar holidays mark the midpoint between the seasons, still celebrated today in their Indo-European forms. We've got Easter, Christmas, Halloween, and what would be the one we're missing here? Spring, fall, summer,
Thanksgiving.
Would that be it? Right? I don't know. It could just be Beltane, and we just don't celebrate it here in America.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
4th of July.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was a different kind of alignment.
Bow to your sensei.
So again, this Samhain, by historians and scholars, they speculate that this is a pre-Celtic Gaelic holiday that's been celebrated for 5,000 years plus. It's based on their ancient mound sites. We talked a little bit about that. They believed that the barrier mounds were the portals to the spirit world on Samhain. So like on this day, they believed that a spiritual portal was awakened so the spirits could roam between the worlds.
And the burial mounds were the portals.
Yes. Also, fun fact, this is totally random, but the name Bledsoe actually literally translates to mean a hill or a mound. And it's weird when you think about it, right? Because we're going to get into this a little bit later, but they believed that also what lived in these mounds are the fairies. To the Irish, fairies are gods. But if you think about popular UFO lore, there's a whole subculture of like spiritual consciousness angle UFO researchers who are like, they're like the fae from Irish folklore, the fairies, you know?
Yeah.
But it's believed that they come from the hills or the mountains and that the hill brings people closer to the fairies.
Well, yeah, we even talked about it on the Angels episode. Like,
Yeah.
It's just another, another culture's depiction of it.
Right.
Same thing.
So Diana Pasolka, who wrote the book American Cosmic, she's in my dad's book. I'm not sure if she published this. I've never read her book, but she told my dad that part of her research before she was seriously involved with like meeting a lot of these UFO players, like years back, she actually went to Ireland as part of her research, and she was investigating like ancient cave sites and found depictions in like ancient, like several thousand-year-old drawings from Gaelic Irish ancients of light beings coming down and creating humanity. Like,
but you said she hasn't like.
I don't know. I haven't read her book.
Dude.
I don't know if she.
I wonder if there are photos.
I don't know, but there's something about the whole Irish thing and the UFO thing and the fairies and the light beings. And,
Well, it seems. I mean, we've talked about it. It seems like so many cultures have their version of the light beings.
Right. That's true. Yeah, but I'm finding the Irish connection crazy because, and it's probably just because I recently found out through the 23andMe thing that I'm Irish. So my mind is like paying attention to that right now, whereas before I never cared.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, this is cool, and I'm seeing all these details and I'm clicking in my brain. But so where was I at here? Closer to the spirit world. Oh yeah. Okay. They believe the burial mounds. It auto-corrected to barrier. The burial mounds are portals to the spirit world. They were places of extreme spiritual potency. So the elevations of the mounds, according to the ancient Irish folk, believed that they were closer to the spirit world because they're higher. They were also believed to be the mounds were the places of the Owl She, or they are the people of the fairy mounds. They're like the fairies. They're bright spirits of nature. At these locations, the ancient Gaelics put great emphasis on assisting the dead's transition into the spirit world. Also, the Anglo-Saxons referred to November as Blood Month. They offered crops and animals sacrificed to gods in exchange for the harvest because, the harvest is that's why you have all this like scythe symbolism with Saturn and the harvest. It's like all the crops are dying in the fall, and it's like death is coming to harvest the crops.
Yeah.
It's similar symbolism. In defiance of the cold, the dark, and the gloom, they would hold these oftentimes 7-day festivals. And like kings, like back then, like kings of Ireland, whatever region they're from, I suppose, they would hold these massive feasts. And they would have these massive bonfires. Also believed that the word bonfire etymologically stems from bone fire because of sacrificial rituals where at these festivals they would have massive bonfires.
Of
and
like
they would,
human bodies and...
Well, I'm not sure about human, but definitely animal.
Oh, gotcha.
They would throw in animals and crops because they're thinking it's like an equivalent exchange. Like we throw in animals and crops, and then the spirits of nature are gonna bless us with more. So they would have massive fires with just animal bones everywhere. Bone fires.
Wow.
That's where it comes from.
That's cool.
Yeah, and there's evidence of there's like archaeological evidence of like massive bonfire pits at these mounds.
Wow.
These sacred mounds in Ireland. So it's crazy how, the archaeology meets with the mythology too. But let's see. They put let me catch up to where I was. I don't have my glasses on too.
You got different glasses on. You got Moodra Man glasses on.
They held these feasts. Oh, it's also the end of farming season, so they're celebrating. They've harvested all their food, and now they're gonna, they have to survive through the rest of the cold. They believed that the fairies, or the bright nature spirits, also held festivals in the spirit world simultaneously. That while they're celebrating on Earth below, that the gods and the spirits are celebrating as well in the realms above.
That's lit.
They wore masks during these festivals because they believed that the thinning of the veil not only affected the realms of physical and spirit, but also affected the realms of the conscious and the subconscious. So they believed that wearing the mask would allow their subconscious shadow side to come out. So at some point in history, they would have festivals similar to like Bacchanalia, where they would just do like the craziest stuff imaginable. Like they would have orgies and like just they're letting their shadow roam free. You know, it's
I want to think about that for a second, because like
I'm sure you do.
you put on a mask, right? Any mask, and you just start acting different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
well,
but
that's why they
it's
did
still
it.
yourself, but it's like no one knows who I am.
You know what I'm curious about? I wonder if that's where the jack-o'-lantern came from. I wonder if that was the kind of masks that they would wear. Cut a face in a freaking pumpkin, put it on their head.
yeah. I don't know. Surprisingly enough, I didn't look into jack-o'-lanterns at all. I wish I did, but
I wonder
didn't
if
see anything
that's-
about pumpkins or anything.
I wonder if that's what it was. I thought you'd know more about pumpkin
I'll look
heads.
into it.
Yeah, look into it.
I do like a good pumpkin head.
I know.
But
You
there's
mentioned it.
there's a good one actually in the 2018 version of Halloween.
There's a good pumpkin head?
Oh yeah, he cuts a dude's head off and then he I guess he
Clarice.
takes his brain out or something.
No, not Clarice.
And then he puts candles
Wrong
in his
movie.
eyes like a jack-o'-lantern.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure they copied that right from the movie Terrifier. But it doesn't matter because it's awesome both times. Because it does also happen in Terrifier. Do not recommend that movie for the faint of heart. It's an extreme movie.
You got pretty serious.
That's the first movie I watched as an adult, like a horror film, that I was like, I feel like very uncomfortable. It's a very, very dreadful, gory film about a demonic clown named Art. But anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, it's like, I don't agree with this, you know. I think it's pretty clear in modern times to see, like, you know, right from wrong. Like, but I could see where they're coming from in ancient times. They believed that one day of the year where the veil was thinner, where they could let their shadow side roam free and just do whatever they want, similar to how they did in like Dionysian rituals.
Yeah.
They believed that it was like a purging of the negativity.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
You
we're
know?
talking about thousands of years
Exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
thought completely
It's a completely different world.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, you know, imagine going to like an eyes wide shut mask party and then you got to, you know, go home to your wife the next day.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty weird.
It's not good for you.
Sure.
It's not recommended, but they did believe that way.
So, according to HalloweenCostumes.com,
Credible source. Credible source. Yeah.
jack-o'-lantern origin comes from Ireland as well. So, according
Sweet.
to Irish folklore, there was a man sentenced to roam the earth for the rest of eternity.
Dang.
This man was called Jack O'Lantern, and he was thought to be a ghostly figure that walked around with a coal burning inside of a carved turnip to light the way.
Whoa.
The story goes that a man named Stingy Jack decided to invite the devil to have a drink and then tricked him into shape-shifting into a coin to pay with.
What?
When the devil agreed, Jack decided that he wanted the coin for different reasons and kept it in his pocket next to a silver cross to keep the coin from returning to its original form.
Dang.
That's crazy.
It keeps on going, but I'll spare you.
I think.
You know what? I just had the craziest thought. We should eventually do an episode on like Faustian type stuff. You familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
You know the old story of like meeting the devil at the crossroads and making a deal?
Yeah.
That's an old German writer named Goethe. I don't know how to pronounce it that well, but it's like Goethe. He's like one of the most famous classical writers in all of German history. Like I remember walking around Frankfurt the first time I was there and seeing a statue in his honor. He's like,
Whoa.
he's a classic writer, and he came up with Faust. It's the story of Faust. Goes to the woods. He's at a crossroads, and he makes a deal with the devil. That's where it all comes from. It's a
Wow, that's sick.
German folklore, but that could be a cool episode.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something about folk tales. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Did you ever come across a boy with a fiddle?
I don't know.
I love
That'd be a
that
good one to
song.
Dude,
find
it's
out.
amazing.
Oh
that
my
was like my
God.
favorite song to play on Guitar Hero 3.
You know that the main fiddle guy in that band is from like right around here.
Charlie Daniels. Or it's
Yeah.
Charlie Daniels.
He's from
He's the lead singer.
He's from Leland.
I didn't
yeah.
know he's from Leland.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wild.
Dude, my dad took me to where he grew up.
That's cool, dude.
He grew up on a swamp. Like,
That's awesome.
Like literally, like in a swamp.
Or maybe was it Leland or Burgall? Because Burgall literally means swamp.
I don't
Wow.
remember where specifically it was. I remember being little,
Yeah.
and because my dad was always really into Charlie Daniels band, and he took me there. We were like on a road trip or something, and we were passing by, and he was like, "I'm gonna take you to Charlie Daniels' old house."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I have good news. We're only about halfway through our notes here,
Oh, cool.
so we're doing pretty well.
Hell yeah.
Not Valentine's Day, that's for sure.
I made sure we weren't going to run out this time. Okay, so moving on. They let their shadow side run free. That's where the masks and the costumes come from. They would hold these large ritual bonfires or bonfires, and they would burn the sacrificial offerings because they believed that the immolation or the burning of a sacrificial offering on an altar would transport the offering to the spiritual realms. And if you look at a lot of like these ancient mystery traditions, a lot of times the divine or the creator of the cosmos is seen as like a flame or a fire, like the fire of the Holy Ghost.
Eternal flame.
Yeah, it was just believed that through the fire it would be transmitted to the spirit world. So again, there's all this evidence of, the bonfires around the mounds. So over time, it became more associated, like I said earlier, because with fear and darkness because of paranoia, with the rise of Christianity. It started picking up more themes of like black magic, evil spirits. They believed that on the eve of October 31st. So again, this is probably more so around the medieval era, which is only like 1,000 plus years ago.
Yeah.
We're past ancient Gaelic history for the moment. They believed that supernatural creatures would roam through the Vale on the eve of October 31st. So I guess October 30th, like the night before.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. When the Vale is increasing in its potency, they believed that these demonic creatures would come through and they would pierce through from the dark void and they would roam the land, haunting churchyards, farms, and crossroads. In Ireland, it was called, again, I do not know how to pronounce this, but it was called Oich Shamhana, or Goblin Night.
Goblin Night.
Goblin Night. The spirits are roaming the land in search of victims to haunt and possess, is what they believed. Travelers would carry a hazel stick or a black-shafted knife, use them as protection charms. They would have protection charms in their house. A lot of time it's like a 5-pointed star because actually, pre-Satanic Panic and modern Christianity times, the 5-pointed star pointed upright actually is believed to be protection from evil.
Whoa.
This is my talisman. It protects me from the horsemen.
What's happening?
I have no idea. I don't understand the reference. Like, what was that?
It's from the movie with the headless horseman.
Ichabod, like Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. And the guy that is one of the characters in the movie, and he's like, everybody's dying around him, and he's in the middle of the road. He goes, he's clutching a cross. This is my talisman.
That's deep.
It protects me from the horseman. And then the horseman comes up behind him and just whops his head off.
Wow, so the charms didn't work.
Yeah, I know.
It was proved in the Johnny Depp movie.
Right.
That was the Johnny Depp movie, right? That's the version.
Yeah.
I've actually never
me and
seen
Olivia,
it.
we laugh about that, so I say that all the time.
It's been a long time since I saw that one.
I've never seen that one.
It's great.
I need to watch it.
I said that like Tony the Tiger, but
It's
it really is.
great.
It really is.
Yo,
great.
I saw a dude. They had the funniest. Some people. The stuff that was still relevant in Mexico, honestly, was so amazing to see. I've never talked about Mexico yet. I mean, I know this isn't the episode, but
Yeah.
it's our first time recording since getting back from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to talk about that in one of the next episodes. But, dude, the stuff that was relevant there was wild.
Like 15, 20 years behind.
Oh, beyond. I saw a guy walking around with, like, a polo shirt with Tony the Tiger on it.
No.
I'm telling you, bro. Like,
No.
it is a different realm. It was magic. It was like a shamanic retreat for me.
Tony the Tiger
I haven't
polo,
seen Tony
bro.
the Tiger in a decade or more.
That's epic.
And he just had like a polo shirt with Tony on it. I loved it. There was all kinds of stuff like that. Little wooden marionette puppets of like Woody and Bart Simpson and Captain America, and like it was amazing. I loved it. In a future episode, I'll talk about Mexico.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So they would carry the charms. Okay, so they believed that a black spirit boar would stalk the ritual bonfires and attack the last person to leave.
Wow. Dude.
Yeah, right? They would dress up in costumes. Eventually, that idea of the costumes morphed, the masks and all that, because they believed it's like the evil spirits that coming through are tricking them. So they would wear the costumes and the masks to deceive and prank the evil spirits. So it's like trick or treat, like the trick being, we're going to prank the evil spirits. We're going to fight fire with fire because they're trying to deceive us with lies and deception. So we're going to throw it back at them as like a magical ritual.
Right.
So they would wear masks and costumes and they would dance around the ritual bonfires on this night with all their charms and sacrifices.
Damn.
So that's where trick or treat comes from. In the North Shetland Isles, it was known as Hallow Mass, which is the night that trolls would come out of the wilderness and steal livestock and crops. So in
Trolls.
certain parts of England, it was known as Witch Laden, where people would walk around the foothills in the dark of night with lit candles. If the candle went out, that meant that there was a witch nearby and they were going to be attacked with curses or hexes.
What?
So so I wanted to talk about like how symbols are used. They're like very complex. Like symbolism is so important. As Manly P. Hall said, check it out. Fire book right here, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. It is a phenomenal book. It is one of the most it's about 700 pages with the edition I have, and like it covers. I just opened it to a random page. The Orphic Mysteries.
Oh.
Flip through one, the Sphinx, the Bacchic and Dionysian rites. It has almost the Holy Spirit, like anything you can think of that's esoteric. The Tau cross, the Egyptian Tau, the Crux Ansata, the Ankh.
Damn.
Like it covers everything you can think of. Persian magic, Babylonian, Chaldean, reptiles.
Whoa.
Isis.
Reptiles?
Yeah, right? I didn't even read what it was about. Isis, the Virgin of the World. Anyway, my point is, Manly P. Hall is, if you look at the history of the transmission of occult texts throughout all time, even until now, like up to the 20th century, Manly P. Hall is one of those names where when you get into this subject, he's one of those titanic legendary names that everyone's like, you got to check him out. You got to check him out. You got to check him out. And he was so knowledgeable in the mysteries of the occult and the esoteric that he was actually gifted an honorary 33rd.
Oh, right. We talked about that recently.
On the Jeff Harmon episode.
Yes.
He was gifted an honorary 33rd degree initiation into the Freemasons. And then he had a mysterious death, so it's like, who knows? But my point is, one of his most famous quotes is symbolism. Can you look this quote up for me? Because I don't know it word for word, but I know the gist of it. Just type like Manly P. Hall quote symbolism language. It's like symbolism is the language of the unconscious mind or something to that effect. But
you got to be pretty cool for your parents to name you Manly.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if
tell me if I'm on here. This is the first thing that popped up. Symbolism is the language of the mysteries. By symbols, men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend the limitations of language.
That's it. No, that's it. That's it.
Wow.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. How a lot of these symbols that have existed throughout all the ages of time, they have meanings that are far more complex than we have the bandwidth of like linguistic capabilities to describe and to fathom. So like when you look at a 5-pointed star, or you look at a cross, or you look at, I don't know, an Ankh, or any symbol you can think of, Metatron's cube, whatever, any sacred geometric esoteric symbol, you look at it and it evokes feelings and images and complex thoughts and emotions that go beyond what you can just describe.
Right. That quote is so eloquently
what that's saying.
Describes that.
Yeah. It's like symbols, like there's ritual magic type stuff or ceremonial magic where it's like, drawing certain symbols to connect to the geometry of the lines and the shapes and the angles, and like trying to become in a trance-like state and feel the energy, like getting a square and a compass and drawing out certain pattern. Like there's an actual belief that there is an energy in the math and the numbers of the symbols. Like there's some sort of divine energy that comes from a realm that's beyond the physical world. It's like there's something complex about symbols that is beyond what we can fathom. That's the point.
The compass is part of the Mason logo.
Exactly, and the square.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like there's only so far you can go with like rudimentary spoken or written language. The brain, the human mind is so much bigger than even what we can create as a written or spoken language. Like we can't communicate everything to one another. There are certain things that are just too big for us to even communicate, and
symbolic or metaphorical.
That's where the
abstract.
Yeah,
I think symbolism is like a portal into the spiritual world of the abstract.
Yeah.
There are things that just can't be rationalized. They just can't because they're formless.
Yeah, rationality is like low key, like kind of invented by humanity. Like if you think about it, like, sure, things kind of work in this realm. They kind of work together or whatever. But in the realm above us, like we have no clue how any of it works. But we're getting these little drops and these little things from that realm that we can only describe with symbols.
Yeah.
Because that's how it appears to us.
Right.
We're in this silly little rudimentary meat body,
Right. So I say all that to say that traditionally, because of, the symbolism thing, traditionally night has been associated with evil because of the paranoia with the rise of the Christianity in the medieval ages. So you get all the symbolism of witches and spooky demons and spirits in the night. But it's like, symbols don't have to have an evil meaning. I think that anything that exists in nature, even death, is not inherently evil.
Right.
It's inherently natural.
Yes.
It's inherently a part of the process of creation.
Yeah.
So like over time, it became associated with the color black and the color orange, the fires of the night. I guess you could say pumpkins, but I really imagine it's because of the darkness of night and the fires burning into the night. So we have ththese themes of black and orange of Halloween.
That's so cool.
Which eventually became, witches and demons and spooks and goblins and,
right.
In the Shetland Isles, they're thinking goblins are taking their crops and it morphed into this dark thing, but like, before that, it was more like just assisting the spirits into the next realm, So
yeah.
That's my whole point. It's like there's this association to the symbolism, but there might be something more natural behind it that's not understood anymore in modern times,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And who knows, bruh? We didn't live a couple thousand years ago. Maybe there was goblins.
Maybe well, you did, but not in this one.
There was gnomes, bro.
Like
you
what?
Seen the videos on TikToks? TikToks.
Oh, you ever seen the videos on the TikToks?
I felt like Danny McBride. Like, show me the YouTubes.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if they have a whole like history like that can be observed where they're carrying around specific knives to hoard off goblins, maybe there were goblins.
Wait, y'all don't have a goblin knife?
I do not. I don't have it on me.
Yeah, you got to get y'all a goblin.
Well, I mean, I just don't. I don't keep it on me all the time.
I definitely want a goblin knife.
Yeah,
I definitely want one.
Yeah, goblin knife on goblin night.
Just my personal reflection on everything here so far is basically like
your personal reflection is in Ryan's glasses. I just
correct.
Wanted,
yeah. His angelic reflection.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit him with the light beam.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, so it's like the veil is thin. Do with that what you will, right? You've got some people who are like, oh, I'm going to use this to communicate with my passed away relatives and like usher them into the next life. And then you got other people that are like, the goblins are taking my crops.
yeah, exactly. Over time, it became this ridiculous thing.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. And now we just walk around getting candy from our neighbors.
Wait, so we're the goblins taking the crops?
Oh my God, dude! Yeah, we're the spirits.
We're the goblins.
We are the spirits with the masks and the costumes and coming to steal the crops and the livestock.
Oh my!
The candy corn and
the fruits
the
of your labor
rolls,
all year. You spent your hard-earned money on that
Tootsie
candy,
Rolls.
and then the goblins just came and took it.
Yeah.
They're making sacrifices to us.
Yes.
Well, I like how we're saying us, like we still go trick or treating, but. We don't.
You don't?
I'm almost 30. Like, we don't do that,
Ryan is 30.
But we did. Yeah, I am 30 now.
Yeah, we did do that for a while, but why can't I go trick-or-treating, bro?
I might go scare the trick-or-treaters as a zombie. I'm really considering it, but I don't know if I feel good about scaring kids.
I don't know.
It's part of Halloween.
That's true.
I'm pitching it in a different way.
Also, you got to remember, anybody who's going through that thing is literally paying to go through it. Or does he charge people? Or
no.
It's just like
they are choosing to go through.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to be responsible for like traumatizing some kid.
No.
No,
if it's a child, just stay still.
That's true.
Well, I mean,
I'd be the friendly zombie.
You got to pick and choose. But me, though, I love scaring kids.
You got to go as Mudra Man Zombie.
I honestly thought about just showing up as Moodra Man.
Yeah.
Just to troll his boss.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Don't worry. I would not do that.
You're like, all right, put the makeup
Not for
on
me, for your safety.
I don't care.
He's the Moodra Man.
He's the Moodra zombie.
So, speaking back to the symbolism thing, over time, the creatures of the night, like the owls, the toads, the reptiles, the cats, they were associated in the medieval era as the witches' familiar.
Yeah.
You know, just through association, because they roam around in the night, so they have to be a part of the darkness. And
Well, also there was another thing that culture, like basically, older women who lived alone, if they were widowed or whatever, like they would usually feed cats around their area. They would have cats. That's kind of how like the quote unquote crazy cat lady thing started. But like thousands or maybe hundreds of years ago, rather, like people thought they were witches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at all the cats hanging out around them. Like, what? She must be a witch. She just stays in her house all day with all those freaking cats, and like, that's where a lot of that stuff came from too.
It's interesting.
It's pretty wild.
They would have these rituals where they would throw torches in the bonfire, making them brighter and hotter, and they would say, "Brave bonfire, burn to keep the fairies away."
Why are they trying to keep them away?
'Cause remember, over time, it became more like in fear of the spirits and the tricksters.
They like stigmatized
yeah,
it.
like between thousands of years of where it started and then where it was in the Middle Ages with all the witchcraft and stuff, it became more like, okay, now we want to keep spirits away.
It's like middle age satanic panic.
Kind
of thing.
The medieval era actually it's just been that since Catholicism has existed.
Pretty much.
Thanks,
Alex.
Yeah, it's.
Wait, ye old
There
you go.
It was borderline satanic panic for an entire age.
Yeah.
Of 2,000 years when you really think about it.
No, yeah, that's
kind of
facts.
crazy.
I think we're like finally starting to get out of it.
Yeah.
It feels that way at least.
I think so.
Like people are chilling down a little. Well, some people.
Well, Moodra Man's been fighting day and night.
Yeah, you've been putting in work. Bro.
And Slippy.
Yes. I mean, of course, flying around
Guided by our angel.
He guides me in my
Alex
R-Wing.
the angel. Yeah.
I was like following him.
Yeah.
Dude, he's Navi.
I played as Slippy when I was a kid.
Oh,
because my big brothers would be like Fox or Falco. I like playing Slippy.
Slippy was my favorite.
Or Peppy.
I like Peppy too.
Peppy's cool.
But Slippy was my guy. I love Slippy.
He's
Always
sick.
did.
His little hat.
Where's your hat at?
It fell, and I didn't feel like getting
I'll
it.
get it. Hang on.
No, you don't got to do that.
So we're actually almost at the end of our notes here.
Okay.
Pretty much. So the night is the embodiment of the mysteries of the unconscious mind and nature on the metaphysical level. So I believe when you look at symbolism for what it really is, it's like night, darkness, death, cold. It's not evil, but it's symbolic of the subconscious.
Yeah.
Or the lower realm of the invisible or the hidden or the formless void. It's like that doesn't at the highest level that it's not evil. It's just a part of nature.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there are cultures.
And the great macrocosm.
Yeah, there are cultures that view death as evil.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. It's just
I
natural.
believe in the scheme of the great macrocosmic, existence of everything in the infinite. Like there's no evil in the natural order of the universe. I believe that we here on this level are the ones creating evil, but in reality, it's coming from mankind, but then the ones in power are spiritually convincing us that it's.
You don't think there are any sort of evil or dark energies out there that are beyond human?
In the great cosmic scale, no. I think it's manifestations in the realm of thought from us.
Wow.
I don't think there's a devil. I just don't.
No, not a devil.
I think that there are parasitic thought forms and negative spirits that exist because of the human race having lived here for so many thousands of years that we create.
It's like an egregorical.
Yeah, I think it's more like that. Like it's on our level. But dude, you zoom out and you look at the great scale of everything. It's it's like you look 50 trillion light years away and it's just like stars are bumping into each other and exploding. It's not evil. It's just nature is created and then it dies and then it's created again and then it dies. It's I don't think that evil is created by the divine. I think we see evil on our terms.
It's interesting because, like, if you get kind of philosophical about it, we're created by the divine.
Yeah.
But
we're created in its image. We're like lesser gods, because we have that spark.
Right.
That animals don't have.
Yeah. I don't know. That's something I like to ponder about because, like, I don't know, man. Because there are some things that you can observe in nature that feel a little wrong, like feel pretty. Like there are certain animals that will like straight up like kill and torture other animals for like sport. Like you know what I mean? There are things on smaller scales that are nature and not involved with humanity that are like
that's true.
That's kind of crazy. Like a praying mantis eating the head of its mate. Like
like female spiders.
Yeah, there's some stuff I don't know. It seems like in a lot of ancient cultures they always describe a dark shadow like entity or.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like where I'm at, like I don't believe that there truly is a force that in the great scheme of things that actually can oppose the light.
Well, no, it's not that it could oppose it maybe, but it's like counterpart.
There's something there.
It's yin and yang. It's, there's always well, for lack of a better term, an equal opposite. It may not literally be equal, but
also, dude, like, what if that darkness existed as a part of this realm? Because it's like the snake that eats the rat or the locusts that swarm the crops, like they're
as above so below.
Yeah.
If it exists in this realm, it has to exist in the other realm. It has to.
But also, like, it's a part of the process of life and death. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that animals are just like, maybe super smart animals like chimpanzees or certain birds or elephants can, get revenge on you and you can hold grudges and things like that. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't think of nature in terms of evil. I think of it in terms of natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's neutral and like we put the meaning on it because of our sensitivity to life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just this great process that we don't understand. That's just my take on it.
For sure.
There is evil.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
From the wisdom tradition mythology, it's like there was the great cosmic mind, there's God, the original true God.
Yeah.
And then from that manifested the feminine, the mother, who then created the physical, which is the realm that we exist in.
Uh-huh.
But it's like birth is painful. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the first thing that happens in human birth? You come out and you're crying. It's agony. You're choking to breathe and your senses are disoriented and you have no knowledge and you're screaming, crying is the first thing you ever do. It's like the separation from the divine into the realm it's like a test, It's like we come here to grow, to be more spiritual and like on the cosmic level of intelligence. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
No, I definitely see what you're saying. It's interesting. I've never thought about it from that lens before of there not being like some cosmic reflection of the spirit of evil because, we talk about as above, so below. If it exists here, it exists there, that kind of reflection thing. I've never thought about the possibility that counterpart, that shadow counterpart, came from this realm exclusively and didn't exist anywhere else prior.
The Gnostic myth, which I'm not saying this is truth, I'm just saying it's one version of the story. The Gnostic myth is like, again, there's that original mind, the Logos, God, the true all or the infinite. And then from it came Sophia, which you could say is the lady or the mother. And then from her came the demiurge, which is like the manipulator of this realm. Like there is a force.
Mm-hmm.
There is a dark force.
Right.
But I'm just saying it's like it's on our level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like it's this realm. I mean, it goes
it's the realm.
It goes right along with like this is hell kind of thing.
I think it's exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like I think it is the realm.
Okay.
We come here and it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be tough. Because it's like the pain of growing into it. We're separated from the divine and now we have to grow on our own, which is a painful process. Bro, middle school sucked. right? Like you get through these growing pains of puberty, you have all these problems, then you get to high school. That really sucks. Growing up sucks. Like really, when you think about it, it's fun, it's awesome, but it also sucks at the same time. It's tough.
For sure.
It's the mirror of growing into the spiritual intelligence. I don't know how to explain it. It was explained to me
I follow you.
by Rosicrucian, but like the process of human life is a mirror image of the divine in creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's the as above, so below.
That's an super interesting way of looking at it. That's cool. I want to think about that more.
Like I think the devil is not some force out there that's stalking us, like we've been made to believe by the Catholic Empire. Mm. But I think in reality, it exists inside every one of us because we have the light and the shadow, the yin yang. We are both.
Yeah.
We human beings are Lucifer and Christ, or we are God and the devil, and like it's up to us and our free will to choose the light.
Yeah.
It's like that old Native American myth. You have the two wolves inside of you, and it's like they're fighting for your soul, and like whichever one you feed is the one that
wins.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Like there is a force, but I don't think there's a devil. But
I definitely don't think there's a devil.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was a really fun tangent. So the night's the embodiment of the mysteries of the unconscious mind and nature on the metaphysical level. In the far distant ancient past, it was considered a time, Samhain, or Halloween. It was considered a time of positive contemplation and assistance of the dead in their passage between the worlds, exactly similar to El Dia de los Muertos. They're having like tequila and ofrendas and all this food and cakes and pastries and candy to their dead, and they're partying with them, and they're in their mind, it's like they're coming back to visit us. It was like that in the ancient past. Divination was heavily practiced, even by the least mystical, because they believed that the entities of the spirit world, good and bad, were all closer during this day. So like even your ordinary non-spiritual pre-Celtic Gaelic Irish dude or whoever 5,000 years ago
they're doing it
was
too.
like, okay, today's the day to start throwing bones and seeing if I can get an answer from the spirits. Today's my day.
Yeah.
That was the day. So and that's basically it. So happy Halloween.
You wrapped that up quick. Whoa, I got whiplash from that. That's basically it. So happy Halloween. Damn.
You got it.
Okay. Hell yeah, son. You really just cut us off.
I mean, that's all I got.
You dropped the mic on us.
Just gone like a vapor, man. Just like puff of smoke in a bonfire.
Like a vapor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
Just out here throwing bones around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, kids, check your candy for razor blades. Always.
Yeah, dude.
They could be.
I was so scared of that as a kid.
I basically used the minimum amount of time from when the candy touched my bag before it got into my mouth. So like I never even had time to consider if there was razor blades in it. I already ate it. It was gone.
Dude, do you remember also, like, in addition to the razor blade thing, they had us hyped up as kids that also, like, all the gang shootouts and murderings were going on during Halloween?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was so scary. Like, watch your back.
Dude, even my parents would be like, you got to be careful on Halloween. That's when the crazies come out.
It's like, I'm with you.
It's like, what? There's just a bunch of kids walking around the neighborhood getting candy. It's that.
Yeah.
I never saw anything.
It's that paranoia.
Exactly.
It's just that. There's paranoia. There's always paranoia about danger and evil. Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Pumpkinhead, check it.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.
Peace.